Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another day. I'm trying to fix myself, you guys. I'm sorry. This jacket it looked better when I put it on, but whatever. Welcome to another day of my Story of My Strength 365-day challenge. We are in our second month. So I would like to thank you all who has been hanging in there with me. I haven't been on a specific time frame. The life keeps life in my as my sister Coach Kiss says life is gonna keep life, and so I'm just as long as I jump on here, I'm gonna call that a win, you guys. So before we get started, I would like to say my trigger warning. What you're about to hear isn't softened. It's not edited or wrapped in comfort. This is a real story of my childhood sexual abuse. This includes a memory, emotions, and truths that may be deeply triggering, especially for those for other survivors who've had to deal with similar situations. This isn't a safe, distant conversation. It's raw and it's personal. If you lived through something like this, please check with yourself before moving forward with this video. You don't owe anyone, including me, you don't owe this moment to anyone. You don't have to listen. Um, Not even you don't owe anything to your healing. If this is going to affect you, it's going to affect your healing. So just step away if you need to, breathe, come back if or when you are ready. Not when the world expects you to be, but when you are, because your nervous system matters, your safety matters, you matter. Listen with care, take breaks, protect your peace above all else, okay? Because again, if you listen to my first 30 days of it, you're going to know that I am a big advocate of expressing that healing is not easy, it's not clean, it's messy, it's dirty, it's gritty, it's grimy, but it's possible. And it is worth it. It is, because once you start to challenge yourself and start to channel all of the anger and the hurt and the pain that you have had to tackle along with the shame and the grief and the guilt, all of those negative emotions, and you start to learn how to get better control over them, it is worth it in the end. But is it easy? Not even a little bit. So this story is another time that like I said, growing up, I had been sexually assaulted multiple times, multiple times. This is another time that I've been assaulted, and this is all. Most of the times, it was by someone who I thought I could trust, a person that I was around, someone who I'd been. These are adults who were around me. At this time, I believe I was 14. It was before I lost my virginity, so I was still technically a virgin. Um, and I went to go around the corner to go look for my sister. She went to several places, and I went to a house asking that had they seen her. She wasn't there. Didn't know where she was. I turned around and leave. It was dark, and a guy that I knew, he was like, "Well, it's late. Let me walk you home." I'm like, "No, I literally live like right across the field. An alley, a field, another alley. It was a short walk from where I was going." But he's like, "No, I want to walk you home." This guy was in his 20s, mid to late 20s. Again, I'm only 14, 13 or 14. Um, and while we were walking home, he was just telling me how pretty I was. And they had this thing called ice cream years. You got these many ice cream years left before I get to take a lick of that, whatever, whatever, whatever. And I was just like, oh, no, okay. So I'm walking and I'm just trying to act like I don't notice him staring at me. I don't notice him, trying to grab my pinky with, trying to, little cute little stuff that you do with someone you're supposed to be doing that with, not a child that is obviously terrified. So I, kept trying to walk a little faster, move a little over to the side, but he kept making his way towards me. So we're in an alley, and he stops, turns me around, and he looks at me. He was just like telling me, "Don't be scared. Don't be scared. I'm not gonna." He told me he wasn't gonna have sex with me. Basically, I'm not gonna rape you. I'm not gonna do anything to you that way. I just want to look at you. So I stepped back and I said, "Okay, look." But he kept coming towards me, kept coming towards me, kept moving towards me, and I kept trying to step back. And eventually, he is now holding me, and he starts to kiss on me on my neck, and I'm just like, "No, don't." He's shushing me, asking me to be quiet. It's gonna be okay. There's nothing wrong with what's happening. I'm not doing anything. Trying to basically calm me down, because now I am starting to panic, because I don't want to be. Um, so I guess this was the first. I thought that this was my first actual sexual assault. Um, because I panicked. I panicked a lot. Um, he laid me down on the ground. There was a lot of grass around, and he laid me down on the ground in this field where, the grass was a little bit taller, so anyone walking by, plus it being nighttime, it was around 8 or 9 o'clock at night. No one would really see what was happening. And he laid me and he held me down. And he's kissing on me, kissing on me, kissing on me. And he started to take my pants down. And I'm now trying to scream, but he puts his hand over my mouth. And he goes down on me. He starts to perform oral sex on me. I did not want to have the feelings that I was having. I tried to stop myself from my body from responding to what he was doing, and my body responded. He did what he did. He performed oral sex on me until my body completely responded in a way that I didn't even know what was happening when my body did what it did. And he stopped and he picked me up off the ground, pulled my pants up, touched me on my face and told me in a few years that I was going to belong to him. He walked me home. I pretended like nothing happened because at this I still, no, I'm wrong. It was right after I lost my virginity. So it was the second sexual assault that I had, or third, because it's a lot. It's a lot, but I know that I was afraid to tell my mom because I had been punished before for telling her when someone did something to me. So I know I was 14, and I just went in the house and I took a shower. And I just remember feeling like, I don't know why this is, I never understood why it happened to me. I still to this day, I'll ask my husband, like, what's wrong with me? Why is it that people want to do these things to me? Because throughout my life, even as an adult, I've had men just attack me. I don't really feel like men are good people in certain ways, that like they have very little self-control because they always want to show that they can be dominant over you by forcing you to do something that you don't want to do. So I'm going to talk about the okay, I thought I hit myself in my stream. I want to talk about the feelings that I had during that time. The wounds, identifying the wounds. So I felt I was just a kid, and something was taken from me that I didn't even understand I had. My body had become a place that I wanted to escape from because I didn't feel like a little girl anymore. I felt like a target. You guys know that, I need to put a trigger warning saying that anyone listens, you need to understand that there's a chance you may hear some traffic coming by because this is a beautiful place and they love to be seen. So you may hear that. So, but like I was saying, I felt like an object and I couldn't put it into words back then. I could not. I didn't understand. But my whole world stopped feeling safe. It never really felt safe, but being attacked sexually by a man and not having anyone to talk to, it just takes the whatever safety that you may have had away. I started watching people's eyes closer. I started holding my breath when I was alone. I stopped trusting adults. I stopped trusting myself because my body responded in a way that it shouldn't have. And the worst part is I blamed myself. I didn't even know what sex was or oral sex, but somehow I thought I was the reason these things kept happening to me. I thought I was dirty. I thought I had done something wrong. I felt sick in my skin, like I wasn't mine anymore, and I didn't deserve to feel normal. And this wound it isn't just a memory. It was a shadow that kind of followed me in every last one of my relationships. Every moment of vulnerability, I tried to feel safe in my own body, and I couldn't. I didn't get to be a child. I got handed trauma after trauma after trauma, and I was silenced and was expected to survive like nothing ever happened. But it did happen, and it did hurt, and it still fucking hurts to this day. To this day, you don't understand. But now I'm finally letting these wounds out, and it's not even for pity or attention, but it's because I don't want to keep being silenced because of what this silence has already cost me. It's taken enough from me. So my reflection question to you is, in what ways have you already shown strength and resilience in your healing journey, even when you didn't realize it? So in what ways have you already shown strength in your healing journey? What ways have you shown resilience in your healing journey and you didn't even realize it? So I'm going to talk about the mind state. I said, I felt certain types of ways, and my negative mind state was I should have stopped it. Okay, most of us feel that way. I wish I should have done more to stop this, but I had to reframe my mind. I did the best I could. My reframing thought is I did the best I could as a child with no power. I froze. I disassociated myself, and I was staying silent. That was survival. That wasn't weakness. I did the best I could as a child. And that's what my affirmation says. It says, I did the best could as a child. I honor the child. I did the best I could as a child with no power, and I honor the child in me who fought in the only way that she knew in the only way she could. So I did the best I could as a child with no power, and I honor the child in me who fought in the only way she could. That's my affirmation. I mean, I did the best I could. I didn't just stand there and say, okay, yes, I said no. I cried. I did everything I could. And, I guess this guy felt like because he didn't physically penetrate me, that he didn't hurt me, but he still hurt me because I didn't want what happened to happen. He took control of something that belonged to me, which was my body. So a mini coping session. This is a tool that you can use when a trigger hits you. Instead of trying to suppress or control these feelings, you give them permission to express physically and vocally in a safe way, like a storm of energy inside your body that wants to release. This mechanism helps you give your body that release. So you just find a private, safe space, okay? And then you set a timer for 3 to 5 minutes. Set a timer for and then start moving your body in any way that feels intense, freeing. If you have to stomp, kick, swing at the air, punch a pillow, scream in the pillow, jump, dance wildly, whatever your body needs to do, you just spaz out. There's this song by Chris Calico, I believe. It's called Spaz. Put that song on and just spaz out if that's what your body needs. And then layer in raw sounds, growls, screams, grunts, yells, laughs, whatever your body tells you that you need to release the tension and the trauma energy that's inside of you. This is a very active, so just be careful for your physical health as well. If don't go listen to your body. So do what your body. If all you can do is just scream, clap your hands, and yell, just do that. But don't be so intense that you hurt yourself. And scream and yell and do what your body needs to do to release that tension. And don't hold back. Don't judge yourself. Let it be chaotic, messy, fierce. And if you start to cry, cry. Do the ugly cry. Do the pretty cry. Do whatever you have to do. And then when the timer ends, you slow your movement, just gradually though. Don't just stop. Kind of slow down. Take deep breaths when you reconnect gently. Just kind of bring yourself back down. It's kind of like a cool down exercise when you have to let your muscles know it's time to go back to the normal. Okay, so this works because trauma lives in the body. Movement and sound storming discharges trapped trauma and energy instead of stuffing it down. Okay, it taps into primal instincts, allowing your inner child and the survivor to vent without words and to force the calm. It's a physical revolt against the freeze, the disassociation, the silence that often accompanies being sexually assaulted, especially as a child. This tool creates a container for rage, grief, and power all at once, validating a full spectrum of your humanity. And there's no right or wrong way because it's your storm. Okay? That's one of my more fun coping tools that I like to use. So this is our 1-minute empowerment challenge. It's power posture and fierce declaration. So stand or sit straight up and put your feet firmly on the ground, shoulders back, chest out, chest open, and take a deep breath. Feel your body as like a pillar of strength. Then raise your chin slightly. Look at the direction ahead or out of a window, focusing on a point of light or something that inspires you. Speak this declaration out loud or silently, but just do it with conviction. I am not defined by what happened to me. I am the author of my story. My power is real and it grows every day. You say that with authority. Okay, and then you close your challenge by grounding your hands on your hips or your heart and take 3 deep breaths and just feel the strength that you reclaimed. Just do that. It's not something hard. Just, I am not defined by what happened to me. I am the author of my story. My power is real and it grows every day. Take back your authority. Take back your growth. Your growth, your voice. So this helps activate your body's language of confidence, reconnects your mind to uh, your personal power, and uses your own voice to reinforce the truth within yourself and the resilience within yourself. And it's just a minute. Just a minute. Okay. Now we are on our Survivor Spotlight. And this woman, we all know who this woman is. She has one of the most beautiful voices in the world, Miss Aretha Franklin. Her voice was thunder wrapped in silk. She was the soundtrack of Black resilience, a voice that held pain, pride, faith, and fire all in one breath. But behind that power in her voice, there was a girl who had grown up far too fast. Born in Memphis in 1942, she was raised in Detroit as a preacher's daughter, a child of gospel and greatness. That's something that I can relate to. But in her home, her home was filled with music. Her home was filled with musical geniuses and spiritual fervor. I cannot say those words. It was also marked by complexity and chaos. So her home was filled with spirituality, musical genius, just greatness, but it was filled with complex wounds. Her parents separated when she was 6, and her mother died just kind of a few years after. So as a child, she was sexually abused, reportedly by multiple men close to the church and close to her family. This abuse happened while she was still in like elementary school, I believe, in grade school. And by the age of 12, she was pregnant. And then again, by the age of 14, she had 2 children. And these were not relationships. They were, I don't believe a child that young even realizes and understands what a real, they might say, oh, that's my boyfriend, Mark X, if you like me. But to know what a real relationship is, where you created children, she had no idea. These were the aftermath of the trauma, these babies, a world that failed to protect her while placing her on stages to entertain. And still she sang her heart out. She sang in church. And as her music career took off in her late teens and early 20s, Aretha was navigating the pain of the stolen childhood, the pressures of young motherhood, and the exploitation of a male-dominated industry. She was subjected to the abusive relationships, including her first husband. He physically and emotionally abused her, as well as there was documentations of hidden professional abuse. I think that's what that is saying, but correct me if I'm wrong. She still fought for her voice, not just artistically, but literally in a world that tried to mute the depth of her humanity. She was not just a singer, she was a survivor who turned brokenness into brilliance. Aretha brought soul to every space she entered, but it was born in sorrow. She poured her own lived experiences of survival into every wail, every whisper, every belt, everything that she sang. When she sang the song "Respect," it wasn't just about men or music. It was a battle for a cry. It was a battle cry for Black women who didn't or hadn't had their own pain acknowledged, and that was continuously overlooked. And even as she carried immense personal pain, she gave time, money, and her own energy to her platform to civil rights, women empowerment, and Black liberation, often silently, often behind the scenes. But she also performed at protests, funerals, presidential inaugurations, and community rallies. She showed up for us, even while bleeding inside. Aretha Franklin embodied survival through sound. She didn't need to write long essays or give speeches. Her pain was in every note, every lyric, every soul-drenched cry. She was a child survivor of sexual abuse, a teenage mother, a woman in abusive relationships, a Black woman in a white-dominated space. And yet when she opened her mouth to sing, the world stood still. Because in her voice was every scream we were never allowed to let out. Aretha took trauma and made it holy. She took silence and turned it into symphony. She made space for Black women to be angry, soft, powerful, and wounded all at once. She didn't just survive. She gave us the soundtrack for surviving. To Aretha Franklin, thank you for carrying so much pain in private and still choosing to sing. Thank you for pouring power into people when you yourself were fighting to be free. Thank you for reminding Black survivors that their pain has value, even if it's only expressed through melody. You didn't just change music. You held up generations of women who didn't know that they were allowed to speak. So we hear you, we carry you, and we honor you. Thank you so much. So if anybody ever tried to silence you, to make you invisible, to disappear you, just know you are able to reject that lie. Your survival is a testament, and it always will be a testament to your power, to your strength, and to your resilience. So if this episode spoke something to you, if you were resonated in any way, please tag someone who needs to hear the truth that our healing is powerful. Our voice is powerful, even when we have everyone trying to tell us it's not. Please share, subscribe to Empowered Voices Finding Strength in Survivor so that you can watch my 365-day challenge along with my weekly podcast, my monthly podcast that I am now doing with All Love. I'm going to be uploading that recording really soon, Real Raw and Real, where we talk about raw, real healing. Also, on Sundays, you'll be able to hear some guidance and beautiful, beautiful stories from my sister, Coach Kiss, and the Kiss Corner. So there's not just these. There's so many other ways that you can grow in your healing, not just through me, through other individuals, as we're teaming up to make this community grow. So please, please, please subscribe to my Twitch. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and keep the community growing, because your story does not end in pain. It begins in power. And I thank you again so much for being patient with me, for sharing these moments in this journey with me. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Can't guarantee on the time, but you will see me tomorrow, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Happy Hump Day.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy. I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get